Oh, I love that animation. You know why? Because this is the best football show. And when I see that animation, I know we're getting ready to get started. Here we are, May 15th. Okay, Thursday, May 15th. The schedule came out yesterday. We're going to get to that. Some of the top games, I think. And the schedule really was excellent for all the. Anyways, we'll get to the schedule. But we got news yesterday, real news. Because in the day and age where running backs are supposed to be forgotten, overvalued, undervalued, how you want to look at it, Derrick Henry gets rewarded with a 2-year extension. All right, a 2-year, $30 million extension. He's 31 years old right now. He can play in Baltimore until he's 32, 33 at minimum. And there doesn't look to be any slowdown. And congratulations to Derrick, who's just an A-plus person, teammate, the whole thing. I go on and on about Derrick Henry, what kind of man he is, what kind of teammate he is. But the Ravens recognized it, and they extended him. Now, he's been in the league 9 years, all right? He's the right now, he's the 19th leading rusher in the history of the NFL with 11,423 yards in 9 years. So do the math. It's well over 1,000 yards a season, all right? He just had his second best year, all right? 1,921 yards. He had the 2,000-yard season. He averaged 5.9 yards a carry. That was the best he ever has at age 30 last year. And he ran for 16 touchdowns, which was the most in the NFL. He's done that a couple of times. He's run for 16, 17 touchdowns in a season before. But everybody, as soon as he signed in Baltimore last year, everybody knew that was going to be a great fit. They're a run-first team. You got to defend Lamar and Derrick Henry. We saw how difficult that was all year long as Baltimore had a great season again. So you think about what Derrick Henry might do, because the offense isn't going to change a great deal. Yeah, they're going to, they'll find a way to throw it, hit the tight ends, hit the receivers, whatever. But honestly, this is a run-first offense. So they're going to get somewhere near close to 600 runs. So he's going to get, for probably the sixth time in his 10-year career, he's going to get 300-plus runs. Last year, he had 325, all right, for the fifth time in his career. So he's going to get 300-plus carries. He's going to get a chance at another 1,500-plus yard season. If he does that, he has a chance to pass Tony Dorsett, who's number 10 on the NFL list at 12,739 yards. He gets 1,316 yards. He's going to end up 10th on the NFL all-time leading rusher list and probably still going strong. So he has a chance to really climb this year, get in the top 10 all-time. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame running back. Him and Saquon are the two best running backs in the league. Saquon was extended earlier, right after the season, right after they won the Super Bowl. They didn't waste any time. So the message to all the running backs out there, from Ashton Genty to Josh Jacobs to Aaron Jones, if you produce, you get rewarded in this business. If you produce and your team does very well, like both the Ravens and Eagles did, you get rewarded. And that's just where we're at in this business right now. You get rewarded when you produce. Saquon and Derrick Henry did it the best in the league last year. Josh had a great season. Aaron Jones had another good season. But that's how you do it. You got to continue to produce. And there was a time, those last, basically the last couple of years in Tennessee, it didn't look good for Derrick. But the offensive line was broken. The organization was awful. The coach was fired. The GM was fired. All that stuff took place. You're only as good as the guys up front. So Derrick Henry has already called those guys out. I'm sure he rewarded him his own way. One time in my career, in 1988, I was playing for the Indianapolis Colts, and Eric Dickerson won the rushing title that year with, 1,600-something yards. He rewarded all of us. I still have a pair of boots that Eric rewarded us with. It's a little bit different now because the money's different and what running backs do for you. But that's cool. So congratulations to Derrick Henry. He'll be a Raven, probably end up retiring, whatever that is, as a Raven. Look like he's got a lot of juice left. In fact, I saw something online where he spends over is it over $250,000 a year on his body? Trainers, workouts, all kinds of supplements, you name it. Nutritionist, he takes care of himself. And he's never been a drinker or partier or anything like that. Saw him running hills the other day. The guy, he's a worker. All right, great job for the Ravens and Derrick Henry. Look for him to be back at the top of the leaderboard again this year. Let's get to the schedule, because the schedule came out officially last night, and it was fun. I mean, all the partners now that you got to satisfy. I mean, it was a time when it was basically 2 major networks and a Sunday night and a Monday night crew. That's really all you had to satisfy. When I was announcing games at Fox from 1998 to 2009, those 12 years, whatever that was, it was Fox, it was CBS, NBC Sunday night, Monday night. That was it. That was your cruise. That's what you had to take care of. Well, now it's CBS and it's Fox and it's NBC and it's ESPN and it's Peacock and it's Amazon Prime. And it's Netflix. So now the world of streaming is in. We know where to find Peacock. We know how to get Amazon Prime on our phone. We know on Christmas Day there's going to be 2 more Netflix games and a night game. Now we're playing games on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So let's get to what I think are the 5 best games, and I'll throw a bonus game in there. I mean, let's just start with the MVP. And let's start with Kansas City and Buffalo week 9. Kansas City, it's regular season. They've played in the regular season before. But Josh Allen is now an MVP, going against Pat Mahomes, 3-time Super Bowl and MVP. Great game in Buffalo. All right, week 9. The weather really hasn't changed yet. I forget who they played the week before. But that's a game that's just going to happen. And it's on CBS, the late game. So everybody can see it. Marquee game that, I'm sure that there'll be nobody up against that Kansas City Buffalo game in that window, that 4:25 window that week. Let's go to, I'm just kind of going in order here, but honestly, Schedule Makers got this thing so right. Week 1, Thursday night, September 4th, Dallas comes to Philly. Now look, I've played for both those organizations. I've played in Dallas. I've played in Philly. It's a huge game for any Eagle fan. Dallas, I always thought was their biggest rival was Washington, and maybe it is still now. But just think about it. Brian Schottenheimer, new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, coming off a 7-9 season where Dak got hurt, Micah got hurt, corners got hurt, inside linebacker hurt. I mean, just, decimated team. They come back with a new coach who's expected to get the Cowboys back to the postseason, and they got to come in Lincoln Financial Field on a Thursday night to kick off the season as the Eagles celebrate their Super Bowl 59 victory. And think about this. The Eagles won more postseason games on their road to that Super Bowl 59 trophy last year than the Cowboys have won combined since their last Super Bowl victory against Pittsburgh in Arizona, 1995. 30-year drought. They've won 4 playoff games in the last 29 years. The Eagles won 4 postseason games on the road to win the Super Bowl. I mean, I know what that stadium is going to be like. Trust me, Cowboy fans, don't wear your Tony Romo, don't wear your Dak Prescott, your CeeDee Lamb, your Micah Parsons jersey in that stadium that Thursday night. They will be getting ready for that game that whole weekend leading up to that kickoff. It will be a frenzy. When they play Rocky's theme, like you Cowboy fans in that stadium, just duck, hide, don't be seen. It's not going to be pleasant. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys got to come in there to Philly as the Eagles accept their Super Bowl rings, trophy, announcement in front of their fans. It's going to be crazy. Let's go. Since Philly is – so It's interesting as we kind of go through these top 5 games: Kansas City, Buffalo, Dallas, Philly. Kansas City has 7 primetime games, whether it's Christmas Day, Thursday night, you name it. Dallas has 6, including 4 Thursday night games. Thanksgiving annually, right? Opening the season up on Thursday night, on and on and on. The Eagles have 6 primetime games along with the Cowboys. That's how you know when the schedule makers are expecting the Cowboys to bounce back and to have a Cowboy-type season. They're the biggest draw in the NFL. They're the most powerful franchise. From their worth, they have more value for their franchise. They just haven't won big in the postseason like the Eagles have. Okay, let's get to my next game, Week 11. Detroit coming to Philadelphia. Detroit was the number 1 seed last year going into the postseason. The Eagles were the number 2 seed going in to the to the postseason last year. Remember, Minnesota had a similar record, but they went on the road. They were the number 5 seed, and of course, got blown out by the Rams. But that game, look, Detroit's got to replace Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson and Antoine Randall, a bunch of assistant coaches that left. But good organizations expect their coaches to get plucked. The Eagles got Kellen Moore plucked. He's now the head coach in New Orleans. They got Doug Nussmeier, their quarterback coach last year, whose son, by the way, is a quarterback at LSU. Doug is going with Kellen Moore down to New Orleans. So the Eagles have had to replace both their coordinator and their quarterback coach. Okay, so kind of fair. All right, Vic Fangio returns. So Eagles and Lions, Week 11. I think it's a top-notch game. Let's go. The first game ever played in Dublin, Ireland is my next game because it's Pittsburgh going to playing Minnesota in Dublin. First game in Dublin. Obviously, the Rooney family of Irish descent going to Ireland. It's a connection. But think about this. It still has not been announced, but everybody believes Aaron Rodgers is coming to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's just think about that for a moment. Last year, Aaron Rodgers, as the quarterback of the New York Jets, went to London and had a chance to beat the Minnesota Vikings. He could not make a throw at the end to Garrett Wilson to win the game. It was ugly. It was an ugly affair. He threw an interception that game. But he gets a second chance, presumably a second chance, as the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, to go to Dublin and defeat the Minnesota Vikings. That same Minnesota Viking defense that Brian Flores gave Aaron Rodgers a difficult time with last year. Now, Stephon Gilmore isn't there. He was one that, gave Aaron Rodgers a hard time. But I think there's a lot of storylines there. Pittsburgh, no George Pickens, DK Metcalf, going up against that vaunted Minnesota defense. J.J. McCarthy, all right? J.J. McCarthy in Dublin, all right? The Rooneys, the McCarthys, right? The O'Connells, Kevin O'Connell, all right? These names of Irish descent going to Dublin. I announced games in Europe for 10 years for Fox when it was NFL Europe. We were in Germany, Barcelona, Amsterdam. We were in London. We were in Scotland. We bounced around Europe pretty good. They have played a game in Dublin, but in the preseason. This is the first regular season game in Dublin. It will be received big. Sky Sports will be all over it in the UK. This will be a fun game to watch. Really a lot of fun to watch. Let's go to week 2, which I have a feeling, I do national radio every Sunday. I have a feeling I'll be in Kansas City week 2 for a Super Bowl rematch. Kansas City's home opener. All right, Philadelphia coming to Kansas City. Look, Philadelphia lost to Kansas City. Philadelphia beat Kansas City in Super Bowls. I know the guys in Philadelphia very well. They don't like Kansas City. Andy Reid, obviously the connection all the games that he won, his 14 years as the head coach of the Eagles, and now what he's done, the last 13 years at Kansas City. Week 2 at GEAH Field at Arrowhead. That's a 4:25 game. All right. National TV game. That is my 5th favorite game on the schedule. It's got Super Bowl MVPs, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, and championship defenses. And one team has won 2 Super Bowls in the last 7 years. One team has won 3. They've been basically at the top of the NFC and the AFC over the last 7 or 8 years. The 2 best franchises going at it. And I'm going to throw a bonus game in, because last year I went to São Paulo, Brazil, and I was there for the Packers and the Eagles. This year it features the Chargers and the Chiefs. Okay, on September 5th, a Friday night in São Paulo. I was there. It was nuts. It really was. It took me from downtown São Paulo. I'm embarrassed to say this. From downtown São Paulo, the largest city in South America, it took me 4 hours to go 15 kilometers. It was just choked with traffic. I'm warning you, anybody, fans going to that game, leave early or get a hotel close. All right, it is difficult and choking traffic to get to. But once you're there, the stadium was awesome. The field needs to get some work done. I'm sure the league is looking at it. You know, it needs an upgrade in the field conditions. But the crowd, the pageantry, the fun, place was lit up. So here's Harbaugh bringing his Chargers, kind of a revamped Charger team, upgraded against Kansas City, a division game in Brazil. That should be a lot of fun. So there's 272 games. You can pick these games apart. I gave you 5 and a bonus. I'm not saying these are the 5 best. When I looked at the schedule, these jumped out at me. But, Thursday night, Prime, I saw Al Michaels last night talking to Rich Eisen. They're super excited about their 4th year bringing games to you on Thursday night. It's a good schedule. Sunday night is a good schedule. Monday night with Troy and Joe is a good schedule. I mean, they've got this primetime thing down for you to watch and enjoy. They've got doubleheaders on Monday night on ESPN and ABC. We've got games on Christmas. We've got games on Saturday during the holidays. It is just when you think, and I've said this for 20 years, just when you think that the league has oversaturated itself, it hasn't. It's a great 18 weeks of regular season building up to the postseason. And that's been the best football show. I'll be here talking about breaking news. Presumably, Aaron Rodgers is going to walk through those doors in Pittsburgh here any day and look at those 6 Lombardi trophies and imagining that he could bring the Steelers a 7th. It's quite the sight to see in Pittsburgh when you go. Anyways, that's been the best football show. Thanks for joining me. Download this Odyssey app for free. Like, subscribe to the best football show. Follow me on social media at Baldy NFL across all the platforms. And I look forward to talking to you real soon.